Hey guys, hi, welcome back. So in the previous video, we have discussed about the degree of freedom, the mean free path and the law of equipartition of energy, right? And in this video, we shall discuss about the heat capacity, the specific heat followed by the molar heat. So the first topic that we will be discussing is the heat capacity. Heat capacity, it is the amount of heat required to change the temperature of a sample by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. So you can say that heat capacity, it is that amount of heat which changes the temperature of a sample by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. This is what heat capacity means. Alright. Now we will see what specific heat means. Specific heat, it is also the amount of heat which is required to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin, but this time the sample must be how much? 1 gram. Okay, it is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of sample by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. And we can write dq is equals to cdt, which can be written as mc dt. All right. Next, let's see what is the molar heat capacity. So molar heat capacity, it is also the amount of heat required to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius or you can say 1 Kelvin, but this time the sample must be how much? 1 mole. It is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of 1 mole of sample by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. Alright, now we will see the specific heat at constant pressure and the specific heat at constant volume. So it is denoted by Cp, the specific heat at constant pressure, and we can write it as dq by dt at constant P. And specific heat at constant volume, which is denoted by Cv, it can be written as dq by dt at constant volume. Okay, so this is the specific heat at constant volume. This is the specific heat at constant pressure. Now let's see some relations. Okay, so firstly we will see for heat capacity. For heat capacity, what we can write? Cp minus Cv, it is equals to nR. Similarly, if we write forward molar heat capacity, okay, per mole, then for that case we can write Cp minus Cv, it is equals to R. And similarly, if we write it for atomic heat capacity per atom, then we can write Cp minus Cv, it is equals to Kb, which is the Boltzmann's constant. R is the gas constant we know. Cp, it is the specific heat at constant pressure. Cv, it is the specific heat at constant volume. We know that Cp minus Cv equals to R. This is the well-known Maer's equation. Yes or no? This is the well-known Maer's equation. Now you see here Cp is greater than Cv. This can be seen using the first law of thermodynamics. So what the first law of thermodynamics says, we have used the first law of thermodynamics multiple number of times while doing the problem. So we all remember what the first law of thermodynamics is. It is dq is equals to du plus dw. That means the change in the heat, it is equals to the change in the internal energy plus the work done. So we can write dw to be as what? Pdv. So if you write the first law of thermodynamics for the constant volume specific heat, means specific heat at constant volume, for that case you will write dq is equals to du. Why? Because the volume is constant, so this term will be equals to 0. And similarly, if you write for Cp, it will be same, dq plus du plus dw. That means Cp, the specific heat at constant pressure, it is the change in the heat equals to the change in the internal energy plus the work done. But here Cv, it is what? The change in the heat, it is equals to what? The change in the internal energy. So you can see here Cp is greater than Cv. All right. Now what we will see, we will see the ratio of Cp and Cv. We can write gamma is equals to what? Cp by Cv. All right. Now you see Cp, it is equals to what? Degree of freedom divided by 2 into with R. Okay. Which can be written as F by 2 R. And Cv can be written as what? Cv can be written as F by 2 plus 1 R. It is just one more. Okay. So if you take the ratio, then you will get Cp by Cv, it is equals to 1 plus 2 by F. Okay. Now you see, if you calculate the value of gamma for monoatomic, diatomic and triatomic. So first of all, what we will write? degree of freedom. Okay, so firstly we will write for monoatomic. It is 3. This is for whom? It is for monoatomic. All right. If you write for diatomic, it's 5. And if you write for triatomic, the degree of freedom is what? 6. All right. Now, if we calculate the value of gamma, gamma is equals to Cp by Cv, which can be written as 1 plus 2 by F. F is how much for monoatomic? 3. So this is for monoatomic. Next, if you see for diatomic, you can write gamma is equals to what? 1 plus 2 by 5, right? And for triatomic, you can write what? Gamma it is equals to what? 1 plus 2 by 6. Yes or no? Now you see here, if you will calculate this, the first one will be how much? 5 by 3. The second one will be how much? 7 by 5. And the last one will be how much? 8 by 6. On calculating, you will get the value of gamma for monoatomic to be how much? 1.67. For diatomic, it will be 1.4. And for triatomic, it is 1.33. So you see, the value of gamma, it is largest for monoatomic. Okay. Then it is for diatomic, then it is for triatomic. So you can write what? Gamma for monoatomic, it is greater than gamma for diatomic. And the value of gamma for diatomic, it is greater than that of triatomic. Okay. So you will get questions related to this. Okay. And also you can say that gamma, it is proportional to what? 1 by F. Means when the degree of freedom will increase, the value of gamma will decrease. Okay. Next, we will see the variation of gamma with temperature. We will see the variation of gamma with temperature. So let us consider an example for, suppose we are considering for hydrogen molecule. Okay. So for hydrogen molecule, if you see at low temperature, suppose I am taking it to be 70 Kelvin. Okay. Then this hydrogen molecule, it will behave as what? It will behave as monoatomic molecule. All right. This is how the hydrogen molecule will behave at this particular temperature. Now you see, if you consider it at low temperature, sorry, at ordinary temperature. Okay. So for ordinary temperature, I am considering the temperature to be about 250 Kelvin. So at this temperature, the molecule will behave as what? It will behave as diatomic. Okay. And if I take at high temperature, okay, at high temperature, at about, you can say 750 Kelvin. Okay, suppose I'm considering it to be 750 Kelvin. Then the hydrogen molecule, it will behave as triatomic. Okay, this is how the variation of gamma takes place with temperature. Now we will see the equipartition theorem for the non-relativistic case. Okay, so firstly, the average thermal energy, okay, or you can say the average thermal kinetic energy associated with each degree of freedom, it is how much? It is half kBT. This is the average kinetic energy. And the contribution of energy, okay, contribution of each quadratic term in Hamiltonian is how much? Okay, you can say the contribution of energy for each quadratic term. Okay, for each quadratic term, it is half kBT. So you need to remember that the average thermal kinetic energy associated with each degree of freedom is half kBT, and the contribution of energy for each quadratic term is also half kBT. This will be used in questions. Okay, to solve questions many times you will need. Now we will see some example. Okay, so firstly I am considering a linear harmonic oscillator. Okay, so if you see here, the Hamiltonian can be written as the sum of what? The kinetic energy, yes or no, plus the potential energy, that is half kx square. I can write it equals to be what? P square by 2m plus half m omega square. I can write Ks m omega square. So you see here, this is one quadratic term, this is the other one. So we know with each quadratic term, the energy contribution is how much? Half kBt. So the first, it will come half kBt, and the second term also it will come as half kBt. So as a whole, the contribution is how much? kBt. This is the total. This is the total energy, right? You can say it as internal energy, thermal energy, whatever. Now you see, this is for what? One. This is for one molecule. So if you write for n molecule, you will multiply it with what? N. Now you see, this was for the case of molecules. Now if you see for n moles, if you calculate, then you can write U is equals to nRT. All right. And CV, it is equals to what? Du by dt. That means it is just nR. Okay. This is how you can calculate. You have to just remember some of the basic points. Okay. Next example, we are considering monoatomic gas. Okay, we will do it for monoatomic gas. So now you see, for monoatomic gas, the energy can be written as what? It will be degree of freedom into with the number of particles into with the contribution of energy, half kBt. Half kBt energy is associated with each degree of freedom. So it is the degree of freedom into with the number of particles into with half kBt. Okay. Or you can write it as what? F by 2 n kBt. All right. Now you see, degree of freedom for monoatomic is how much? 3. So you can write it as what? 3 by 2 n kBt, because the degree of freedom is 3. All right. You can write it as 3 by 2 n RT, because you can write n kb as what? You can write n kb as small and capital R. All right. So CV will be equals to what? CV will be equals to del U by del T. That means it will be equals to 3 by 2 nR. This is how you can calculate the value of CV. Clear? Next, now we will see for diatomic. For diatomic, we will calculate this time. Okay. So what we know, for diatomic, we are having what? We are having 3 translation, because I have already said whether the molecule is a diatomic or monoatomic, translational degree of freedom will be 3. Yes or no? So here you will see for diatomic, translation degree of freedom is how much? Translational degree of freedom, it is 3. Okay, and rotational was how much for diatomic? Rotational degree of freedom was 2. Yes or no? So energy will be equals to what? 3 into with half kBt, because half kBt energy is associated with each degree of freedom, plus 2 into with half kBt. Right? So as a whole, this will be how much? This will be 5 by 2 kBt. Now you see, this is for rigid molecule. Yes or no? Because diatomic are having what? Rigid and non-rigid both. So this we have calculated for rigid molecule. Right? When we will calculate for non-rigid, what will happen? There will be the vibrational term also. Okay, so the energy U, it will be 3 into with half kBt. This is for translational. 2 into with half kBt. This is for rotational. Plus, how many vibrational term will be there? Only one. So you will write it as what? The energy associated with vibrational degree of freedom is for how much kBt I have said in the last class. So it will be ultimately total will be how much? 7 by 2 kBt. Yes or no? So this is the energy for rigid molecule. This is the energy for non-rigid. Now if you have to calculate gamma, okay, that is equals to Cp by Cv. It will be equals to how much you know? This will be 7 by 5. This is for rigid. Okay, this is for rigid. And for non-rigid, it will be 9 by 5. This is for non-rigid. How you can calculate? You see, you know the formula for Cp and Cv. Cv was what? F by 2 plus 1 into with R. Okay, I will calculate only for rigid. So you see here, and Cp is equals to what? F by 2 into with R. So degree of freedom for rigid, it was how much? 3 and 2, it was 5. So it is 5 by 2 R. Yes or no? And in case of this one, CV, you will write what? 5 by 2 plus 1. That will be how much? 7 by 2. Yes or no? So now when you will see it is 7 by 2 R, then when you will do gamma is equals to what? Cp by Cv. It will be equals to how much? 7 by 2 R divided by what? 5 by 2 R. This 2R and 2R will get cancelled, so you will get 5 by 2. This is for rigid. Similarly, you can calculate for non-rigid also. Okay? You will get the ratio to be 9 by 5. Clear? Now let's see some problems. Okay. So the first question is what? The mean total energy of a classical three-dimensional harmonic oscillator in equilibrium with a heat reservoir at temperature T is. So you have to say what is the mean total energy for a three-dimensional harmonic oscillator, which is in equilibrium with a reservoir whose temperature is T. So you see here, you are asked to calculate for what? Three-dimensional. Yes or no? So first we will write the Hamiltonian for a three-dimensional. It is how much? H is equals to px square by 2m plus py square by 2m plus pz square by 2m. This is for three dimension, plus half m omega square. Here also you will have three terms because it is three dimension. So if you see here in the kinetic energies part, you are having three quadratic terms, right? And in the potential energy term also you are having what? Three quadratic terms. Yes or no? As a whole, you are having how many quadratic terms? 6 quadratic terms. Okay. Now the energy associated with each quadratic term was how much? Half kBt. So just multiply 6 with half kBt, and on calculating you will get the energy is how much? 3 kBt. So this is the energy for a three-dimensional harmonic oscillator in equilibrium. So your correct option is option D. All right. Now let's see, consider a triatomic molecule of the state shown. So this is a triatomic molecule shown. This is in three dimension. So the heat capacity of this molecule we need to calculate at high temperature. So first of all, you see for a triatomic molecule, okay, we know the degree of freedom F. It is how much? We are having, how many are there? We are having 3 translational, 3 rotational, and 3 vibrational, right? 3 rotational. This is translational, this is rotational, this is vibrational. Okay. Now you have to calculate the energy first, then only you can go to the heat capacity. So U, it is equals to what? It will be 3 energy associated with translational degree of freedom, and rotational it is what? Half kBt. So it is half kBt plus half kBt into with 3 plus 3 into with kBt, because the energy associated with vibrational degree of freedom is kBt. So as a whole, if you see, this will give you how much? When you do the aggregate, you will get it to be 6 kBt. This is the value of U. Now the specific heat Cv, it will be equals to how much? Del U by del T. Yes or no? So if you do del U by del T, you will get 6 kB. Okay, so the specific heat for this triatomic molecule is 6 kB. All right. Next, you see the ratio of gamma equals to Cp by Cv for hydrogen gas is how much? 7 by 5. This is at room temperature. And it is 5 by 3 at low temperature. Okay, this is for ordinary temperature. This is for low temperature. The reason for this change is what? What is the reason for this change? The ratio is given to you. Now you see hydrogen molecule, it is there. Hydrogen molecule is what? Hydrogen molecule, it is a diatomic molecule, right? We know for diatomic molecule at ordinary temperature the degree of freedom is how much? There will be how many degree of freedom? See, 3 will be there for translational and 2 will be there for what? Rotational. Yes or no? And if you will calculate for, this is for ordinary. Okay. Now if you calculate for what? Low temperature. Yes or no? At low temperature, how many degrees of freedom will be there? There will be only 3 degrees of freedom, because at low temperature they are not having enough energy to rotate. So the degree of freedom will be how much? 3. So you can see here the reason for change of this, okay, ratio na, to be 7 by 5 and 5 by 3. This is at room temperature and low temperature. This reason that why it is what? There is a difference among these two, na? Because of what? Because of the separation of the degree of rotational degree of freedom. Is it clear to you? It is because of what? The separation of the rotational degree of freedom. Now let's see question number 4. The specific heat per molecule of a gas of a diatomic molecules at high temperature is what? You have to calculate the specific heat per molecule. Okay, for a diatomic molecule at high temperature. So already we have studied a lot about what? A lot about the diatomic molecule, its degree of freedom. So whenever you ask about the specific heat, now you're having an idea that you will use the concept of what? You will use the concept of degree of freedom. So if you see the degree of freedom for diatomic molecule, it is how much? It is having 3 translational, okay, 2 rotational, right? And it is having how many vibrational degree of freedom? How much will be there? Vibrational degree of freedom will be how much? If you calculate and see, the vibrational degree of freedom will be how much? It will be 1. Yes or no? It is 1. So if you see here, when you will calculate this one, U it is equals to what? 3 into with half kBt, energy associated with translational. 2 into with half kBt, energy associated with rotational. And it will be how much here? Only kBt. So if you see here, when you will calculate this will be how much? 3 by 2. This 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So it is kBt plus kBt. So it will be how much? This is kBt here. So it is how much? 7 by 2 kBt. Alright. So this is the value of U. Now you have to calculate what the specific it's CV. So you have to just differentiate U with respect to what? Temperature. So you will get it to be how much? 7 by 2 kb. Yes or no? So 7 by 2 kb means what? 3.5 kb. So you can see here, one point will be there. Okay. So the correct option is option B. Is it clear to you? You have to just see what is the degree of freedom, find the energy, and then find CV. Okay. You have to know how many degree of freedom are there. All right. Energy associated with rotational and translational degree of freedom is half, and that of this vibrational it is kBt. Clear? Now let's see question number 5. For which gas the ratio of specific heat Cp by Cv it is largest? So we have already done this in the theory section. It is largest for monoatomic, and you can also see gamma is what? Inversely proportional to the degree of freedom. Means in case of degree of freedom is increasing, then the value of gamma will what? Decrease. Okay, so here you see the highest will be for what? Monoatomic. Yes or no? You can calculate and see, and you can see in the theory part also we have done. So I'm not going into the details. Next you see above a temperature T0, the specific heat of a certain gas, it is approximately 3.5 bar, and it is approximately 2.5 bar below T0. So the gas is most likely what? So you see here, you are given here with the specific heat, okay, for a certain gas. You don't know what the gas is. So at T0, okay, it is said the values are given approximate, okay. So above T0, it is 3.5 R, and below T0, it is what? 2.5. So what you will see here the value of what? Gamma. Yes or no? To see whether this particular gas is what? You will see the ratio. Yes or no? Cp by Cv. So we will write gamma is equals to what? Gamma, we will see the ratio of gamma. Okay. Gamma is Cp by Cv. So you see here, if you see, calculate here, it will be how much? 3.5 R. Right. Divided by 2.5 R. So R and R will get cancelled. You will have here 35 by 25 on removing decimal. So this will be 7. Yes or no? 5 sevens are. This is 5 fives are. So you are getting this to be 7 by 5. When you will take this simplification, then you will see the value will be how much? 1.4. So you have already seen the value of gamma is 1.4 for diatomic, because for monoatomic it was how much? It was 1.67, right? For diatomic it was how much? 1.4, and for triatomic it was how much? 1.33. Okay, so this particular gas is a diatomic gas. Now we will see the option. In this option, which molecule is diatomic? you see this three is not possible. Argon is a monoatomic, carbon dioxide it is a triatomic. So diatomic gas is which one? So these are not possible. So the correct option is option A, that is the oxygen molecule. Okay, O2. Clear? So when you will do repeated number of times, no, then after some time you don't have to calculate so much. The degree of freedom and the value of gamma will be in your mind. Now let's see the last question. Okay, the molar specific heat of a gas is given to be 5/2R from the kinetic theory. This is the molar specific heat given from the kinetic theory. If it is not specified whether Cp it is Cp or Cv, one could conclude that the molecule of the gas is what? So it is not said whether it is specific heat at constant pressure or at constant volume. You have to conclude or you have to find out which molecule it is. Okay, so for this, first of all, what we will see for monoatomic, okay, we have already seen multiple number of times. Okay, so I'm not calculating here. So for monoatomic, the value of Cv, it is how much? 3/2R. And Cp is equals to how much? 5/2R. Okay, and for a diatomic, you see, for diatomic, it is will have rigid molecule also, and it will have non-rigid also. Okay, now if you see for rigid molecule, the value of Cv is how much? For rigid, it is 5/2R. Okay, and for non-rigid, it is how much? It is, sorry, for non-rigid, it is how much? Cv is how much? 7/2R. Yes or no? For rigid molecule, Cp, okay, specific heat at constant pressure, it is 7/2R. And Cp for non-rigid molecule, it is how much? 9/2R. Okay, now if you see here, you are having what? 5/2R to be the specific heat. So you see monoatomic is also having that ratio and diatomic is also having that. Okay, molar specific heat. So you can say it can be either monoatomic or it can be what? It can be diatomic. So you can write the correct option is option D. You can calculate the value of Cp and Cv. Okay, Cp can be calculated. I have already said the formula during the theory also, but once again I'm repeating here. Cv is F/2R and Cp is F/2 plus 1R. Okay, F here it is the degree of freedom. So you know for monoatomic the degree of freedom is what? You can just see the degree of freedom is 3 na for monoatomic. Yes or no? So it is 3/2R and Cp will be 5/2. Similarly, you can see for diatomic also. Okay, just remember the degree of freedom. All right. So that's all in this video. And one thing I would like to say, whenever you're looking the questions, you will feel that the questions are very easy. But I would suggest you that whatever theory I'm telling you, just look at the theory, understand the theory, write it on your own once. Even the theory, if it's very easy, then also I would like to say you that then also you just write, because sometimes the easy things are something which we forget very easily. So write down the theory, see the questions, note down the questions, and then start solving. Once when you will do this, you will understand the complete class, or you can say the complete things that I have discussed 100%. Okay, and that will help you in the examination. And you will get many questions related to this degree of freedom and these things na, in your examinations. And these questions, these are giving you much better score, because these are not that tough. You can just calculate it. The only thing is that you need to remember the degree of freedom and the basic formulas. Thank you so much. Have a good day.